While most people with any economic sense believe that at some point the United States dollar will become close to worthless after a hyperinflationary disaster, thanks to the Federal Reserve money manipulating mafia that hijacked our financial system over 100 years ago after launching their plan at the secret Jekyll Island meeting, some people are peddling the propaganda that it's gold that's going to become worthless, saying that you should just cash in your gold and shift over to a digital currency right now. That's great. Let's just plug the mark of the beast into our brain while we're at it. This idea more recently seems to stem from this article by Brian Lund titled Why Gold Will Eventually Be Almost Worthless, and has actually been picked up by some financial news institutions, even Yahoo Finance, where he said that it's just old fashioned and archaic to deal with gold. And he says that, quote, someday you'll see those gold coins, jewelry, and bars in the same way now that you look at a bound set of encyclopedias, a Beanie Baby, or a Blackberry, something that you once would have paid a lot to own, but now that's completely obsolete. Valuable only for its attractiveness and nostalgia value. In other words, not very valuable at all. Oh, yeah, so I guess just a 1 ounce gold coin is going to be about worth as much as a Beanie Baby. Really. I actually have a complete bound set of encyclopedias because, you can't delete those. Battery's never going to go dead on your set of encyclopedias. I'm just so old-fashioned, and that way if a big solar flare hits as well, I will have a large base of the human knowledge while the rest of the country or hemisphere or whatever part of the planet got hit just literally in the dark. Literally and figuratively, a bunch of brain dead zombies. But this guy obviously is wanting to promote the idea of the cashless society, which is one of the primary goals of the Illuminati New World Order. Go and check out this clip of Richard Nixon when he took us off the gold standard. He said it was temporary. 40 years ago, it's just temporary. To save the dollar. He's going to save the dollar by taking us off of the gold standard. It's interesting. If you look at the gold chart over the last 10 years, it went from $400 in 2004 up to almost $2,000 in 2011, back down to about the $1,300 mark. If you don't quite understand why gold has been for 5,000 years considered real money, if you don't understand what we're talking about fiat currency or paper currency, or taking what the consequences are of taking the dollar off the gold standard, go and watch Money as Debt. It's a very powerful documentary. It's actually a cartoon, so you could probably try to teach some of your kids this, depending on their age. But the plan is to destroy the dollar. That's why we have so much debt. The debt ceiling just continues to get raised. And once the dollar's gone, they'll eventually create the global currency, which may very well be called the Phoenix because of the occult Illuminati meaning of the phoenix, where it rises out of its own ashes. So they will have a new currency rising out of the ashes of the economic collapse, and then you just plug the little mark of the beast into your brain, or swallow the little pill, or just put the little tattoo on there, and no more gold. You're just old-fashioned. You're probably a potential terrorist anyway. And Bitcoin. A lot of people in the resistance, in the underground, and the Patriot movement, the Liberty movement, whatever you want to call it, just love Bitcoin. But that's also paving the path to a digital currency. Do I need to talk about all the hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoins that have just been stolen, just hacked, just remotely, just poof, disappeared? Now, potentially one way that this could happen is that if at some point, they probably can already do this, but it would probably be so expensive and maybe even illegal, if they create a method to artificially create gold. You hear about this, the old alchemists, like creating gold out of lead, which is actually just an allegory, a kind of a cover story for their philosophy. They were trying to enlighten themselves. They used that as a code word. And so they considered the human heart or the human mind to be just a hunk of lead. And then through their enlightenment processes, they would, turn it into gold, lead into gold. That's where you get that phrase. Some scientists, of course, have been trying to do this. And there is an interesting Twilight Zone episode where a couple thieves steal a bunch of gold and then put themselves in a suspended animation pod so that they can be reactivated years later after the statute of limitations is gone and everybody's dead. The authorities stop looking for them, and they think that they're going to arrive in the future, 100 years in the future, whatever it was, or 50 years, rich because they have all this gold, only to awake to the society where gold has been artificially manufactured and is close to worthless. Now, a lot of people in the resistance prefer gold coins as some sort of medium of exchange in the in the collapse, after the collapse, during the collapse. But really, silver coins would probably be more appropriate for a medium of exchange, because if we start using a barter system, or in the underground economy start using physical metal coins, gold coins, silver coins for sale, for a medium of exchange, you're going to really need silver coins. 1 ounce silver coins, or 1 ounce, silver rounds, which is a 1 ounce silver coin, but it's not a numismatic. It doesn't have any currency value. It's just a 1 ounce chunk of metal shaped into a coin. But because you're not going to go and pay for a week's worth of groceries with a gold coin, because nobody's going to have the change necessary unless they're going to give you, dozens, hundreds of ounces of silver to give you change for that. So I guess you could, if you have little 10th ounce gold coins that they have, you could break it into little chunks, but then people are going to have to weigh it. So if, you're a precious metals collector, or just have a little bit of precious metals on reserve, just in case of the collapse or an end times situation, or the solar flare just wiping out all electronic systems for what could be months before they get them back online. Silver coins are probably a lot better bet. And currently, I think the price of silver is about $20 an ounce, somewhere around there. So anyway, pretty interesting. The propaganda being peddled. Gold will become worthless. Hey, let's just go to a digital currency. The mark of the beast is so great. President Obama is Lord. He's been sent by God to save us all. He's just so cool. So anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new. Check out some of the previous videos and the playlists. And stay tuned, because there's more videos coming soon.